Welcome to the Downsized Dish. My name is Laraine Durham, and this is our series on our Downsized channel where we talk to people who are on GLP-1 medications, everyday people like you and me who have had success with Wegovy, Ozempic, Zepbound, Mounjaro, semaglutide, and tirzepatide. I've personally lost over 50 pounds with compounded tirzepatide, and it's my goal to talk to as many people as possible and spread the word about GLP-1s. So today we're talking to Johnna. Hi, Johnna. How are you?
Hi, Lorraine. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Johnna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 68 years old, and I started on my journey of the GLP-1 on August 1st. Like you, I've probably been on almost every diet under the sun.
Yeah.
The restaurant manager for years, so I was always around food.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's like, I don't know, an alcohol. Well, I was an alcoholic also when I was a bartender. So there you go.
Wow. Yeah.
I quit drinking when I was 28. I didn't really have a lot of weight issues until I got a little bit later in life. As a
Mhm.
young child, I loved to eat, and I even climbed on the Thanksgiving dinner table and ate a stick of butter. That should have been my first red flag. But I maintained a good, healthy weight until I was in my late teens, early 20s.
Okay. Okay. So you've been around food a lot as a restaurant manager.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that affected your weight?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because, even I had gastric bypass.
Oh wow.
And the thing about it is, I lost weight. It's a very effective way to lose weight, but you still have that head noise. So
Right.
after you lose the weight, I ended up gaining almost all of it back. And I lost about 80 pounds, 90 pounds, and I
Wow.
gained almost all of it back because you eat
Wow.
right through it. Your brain is stronger than your willpower.
Yeah, for sure. And I've heard a lot of people say that with the gastric bypass that the food noise is still there. The
Yeah.
urge to eat is still there. How long
Yeah.
ago was that where you when you had the gastric bypass?
I had that in 2003.
Okay.
And it was weird. I was listening to Barb and her journey, although I never weighed 400 pounds, she had a lot of the same journey because she had mentioned she tried to get her gallbladder out. And that's kind of how I got the gastric bypass. I went to get my gallbladder out, and I couldn't find a surgeon that would take it out because I was a risk. And I actually had a doctor ask me if I considered dieting.
Gee, never thought of that. Thanks.
Never thought of that, yeah. And so I went to my regular doctor and I said, God, I'd have my stomach stapled if I could. And he goes, Oh, well, I don't think you're heavy enough, but do you want to look into that?
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
then I had that, and they took the gallbladder out at the same time.
Oh, interesting. So you got a
Yeah.
2 for the price of 1. Or maybe not, but a 2
Yeah.
for surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And when you had your gallbladder out, do you think that was affecting your weight or that was a totally separate issue?
No, I think that was just I was getting really bad pain in the middle of my back, and I don't know if I had gallstones or not. I never had to pass one, but
Mhm.
what I had was generalized itching.
Hmm.
And my doctor had put me on an antihistamine, and then when I went to this new doctor, he said, "Gee," he goes, "Do you have a gallbladder?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "My gallbladder did the same thing. It's a low-grade infection that's causing that itching. I think you need to have your gallbladder out." So
Interesting,
yeah, it was kind of weird,
interesting.
but
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah. And, just for people who are, just joining us for the first time, Barb, Herrera is someone we've interviewed previously on this channel, and that's the Barb I think
Yeah, yeah.
you're referring to. She has a blog called Health at Any Cost, which is amazing. I encourage everyone to go check that out. I think her highest weight was 405 pounds, and her story is she's lost 200 pounds twice. So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting story, and I'm sure everybody can relate to definitely pieces and parts of her story. So thanks for checking that out. Let's look at some of your before and after pictures.
Okay.
So, okay. So tell me about the timeline for these two.
Well, the before picture was taken probably about 2 years ago, and I maintained about that weight on and off of Weight Watchers.
Mm.
And then the after picture I actually took this morning, and it's kind of hard to tell, except you can tell the length of the shirt. It's very
Yeah.
loose on me in the after, and the before it was pretty tight. And that's about 30 pounds down.
Okay, awesome. Tell us your height and how tall are you?
Okay, well, you're going to like this. I'm 5'4" and a quarter.
Oh, just like me. Yay.
I was always 5'6" and a half. And
Yes.
then I shrunk, and then I looked it up, and that's pretty normal. They say between 2 and 3 inches, depending on your age. By about 70, they say 3 inches. I had a DEXA scan, and they said my spine had actually increased in density. And so I looked up because I thought, well, maybe my shrinking has caused that. But they
Yeah.
said that has nothing to do with it. So that
Huh.
was good. And I think I've been doing a lot of keto and stuff like that through the years. So my spine actually increased, but my hips decreased. So they kind of weighed each other out. But I'm still at a
Interesting.
healthy DEXA scan. So I'm glad I got that before I started on this journey.
Yeah, I wish I'd have gotten one. That's a really good idea to get a DEXA scan. So in the DEXA scan, they can tell your bone density. Can they tell like your muscle versus fat and stuff like that too?
Well, I think they can. I didn't get the whole report. The
Okay.
doctors did, but it did say that my bone density was at about 112 to 118 on mass, so that's over the average for my age, and it's
Okay.
about 92 for a healthy young person. So
Okay.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy at 68 that I can say that.
Yeah.
I do think it does show your fat mass also, but
Mhm.
I haven't got the full report, so I don't know.
Do you take just wondering about like calcium supplements? Do you take any supplements or anything like that?
I do. Having the gastric bypass, I should be taking calcium, and I've been very bad at it. I always had a pretty strong bones as a kid, so I
Mm,
think that, it has just stayed
very
with
true.
me.
Mhm.
But a lot of vitamins you're supposed to take with the gastric bypass because you have malabsorption because everything goes through your system faster. So
Yeah.
now with the GLP-1, it slows it down. So I'm kind of reverted back to probably normal or a little slower. It is slow for me, but I do take a multivitamin, and I take probably more than the recommended amount because I have gummies. And if I just feel like something, I pop a couple of those.
Yeah.
And I do take the subliminal B if I feel like I'm lacking energy. That's one of the side effects I've had is tiredness. So
Mm.
I'll take a vitamin B subliminal. It's just a liquid under my tongue.
Under the tongue, yeah.
Yeah. And I do take magnesium, not every night, but probably every other night at bedtime.
Mhm.
And other than that, I don't really think I take any other supplements.
Do you find the magnesium helps you sleep better? Is that
Yes.
is that why you're taking it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to make sure I have enough magnesium. I noticed that I you really get rid of a lot of liquid. I'm getting up all night going to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
So,
4
yeah,
AM last night was my time to get up.
yeah.
So, yeah, so which medication are you currently on?
I'm on the 5.0. I started on 2.5 for a full month, and
Mhm.
then I've been on the 5 now for 2 months, and or no, I've been on the 5 for a month and a half because I just started week 9. So, no,
And
not
now
even a month and a half.
is
Yeah,
this
a month and a half.
Mounjaro, Z-bound,
Oh,
compounded?
Mounjaro,
Mounjaro, okay.
Mounjaro. I couldn't get anything else. I can't get a weight loss. I'm on Medicare. I can't get a weight loss approved.
Right.
So I went on Mounjaro, and I couldn't even get that approved. And now they approved it for 4 months.
Oh,
So I'm going to see at the end of 4 months what happens.
yeah.
I just went to a new doctor. I went to a new clinic kind of thing. And I had a long discussion with her on what I want. And
Mhm.
she's very on board. And she says she's going to do everything she can to make sure I can keep getting that medication. So we'll see.
Oh, that's great. That's the best you can hope for, from a
Hmm.
provider, what they say, right? Yeah, so are you I guess How much do you have to pay now for the Mounjaro?
I pay $47, which is great.
Yeah.
But if I don't have the insurance, and I think I'm getting ready to pick up my last prescription,
Mhm.
then I'll have to pay the 1,238, which it is at my
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned to her, I said, hey, if I can't do this, I'm going to a compounded
Yeah.
because I'm not going off this medicine. It's that important to me.
Yeah.
And so hopefully compounded stays around if this doesn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, people who watch the channel know that I've lost all my weight on the compounded form of tirzepatide, which is the same as Mounjaro and Zepbound.
Right,
So I'm a big fan. And Christopher, my husband, has used compounded Mounjaro and Zepbound and has really noticed no difference from one to the other. Um,
right,
so, it, there are good compounders out there. We hope that compounding stays around. Right now, today, it's available, and we can only go with what we know for sure today. So I tell
right.
people, don't panic. It's hopefully going to
I
be
know.
around for a while.
Yeah.
So, and yeah. So, well, good. So you just started in August and you've lost, I think you said, was it 30 pounds?
30 pounds total, 20, a little over 23 on the Mounjaro, and
Mhm.
7 because I got the doctor wrote the prescription in May, and it
Mhm.
didn't get approved until August, the very end of July.
Yeah.
So I got a three-wheel bike so I don't fall. And I run my dog that way because I have
Oh.
a new puppy. So my dog, and she was pulling me because she's part Jack Russell Terrier and she wants to run. And so I ride that bike and she runs. And then I have a senior dog that goes in the basket and
Oh,
we
how
all
cute.
go out and have a good time.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So I
That's so
am getting the exercise, a little bit of exercise that way.
yeah. And where do you live in Florida or somewhere warm like that?
Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely somewhere warm like
Yeah.
that.
So if we don't get out, well, it's starting to cool now, but if we don't get out by 7 in the morning, I'm not
It's too
going.
hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I guess year round there, it's pretty temperate. You can continue
Yeah,
that pretty much year
yeah, yeah,
round. Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, our pets really have a big impact on us, don't they?
yeah, yeah,
Do you have
yeah.
any kids or just
I
pets?
have one daughter. She's
Uh-huh.
37, lives in
Okay.
Oregon.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Very nice. And does she know that you're on the medication?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tell everybody.
Oh,
I
good.
tell everybody.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
I'm like,
too.
and they go, "What's that?" She knows. She's had her own eating issues, so she's
Mm,
like, I told her, I go, "You might think about it, because she has an obsessive compulsive behavior too sometimes."
mhm.
And I said, "You might think about," and she goes, "Mom, I can't think about it because her eating is she undereats because she's so afraid of gaining weight." And
Oh,
she goes, and then she'll binge and things like that. And I said,
yeah,
"Well, I she doesn't want me really to talk about it too much, and we talk about everything, but
yeah,
she's afraid it's going to trigger her."
yeah,
So I respect that, and I think maybe if it'll help her someday down the road, I'm here for her if she thinks she wants to talk about it, but she has her own journey to fill. And
yeah,
all I can do to people is mention it, and if they're not open to it, I mean, she's happy for me because she
yeah,
knows my struggle over the years.
yeah. Yeah, it's and you mentioned a little bit at the beginning about, alcohol and food and how they can be compulsions, and I definitely feel this way. Do you feel like the Mounjaro has taken some of taken some of that compulsion away?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's really calmed. 4 hours after I took my first dose, I realized the food noise was gone. It was
Wow.
like a silence just came over me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, I do YouTube. I do shopping videos,
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
I do couponing, extreme couponing. So I have a ton of everything, shampoo and detergent and body wash and all that.
I
And
love
then
it.
twice a year we have a yard sale. So I actually yesterday put a notice on my channel that, and I'm doing the weight loss on there too, just in case somebody's interested.
Yeah,
And I was going to start a new channel, and I thought, no, I already have enough subscribers on this one, and just put it on there.
yeah.
But I did put a notice on my channel that I'm not going to coupon for about a month, I need a break after 5 years of doing it. And I don't know if it's just saying I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll see what happens at the end
Yeah.
of a couple weeks or a month if my life has just turned a corner and said, you know what, that's an obsession too, because I had to go out all the time, film all the time, and it
Interesting.
just got to be all consuming, all
What's the
consuming.
name of your channel so we can put it on the
It's
screen?
my name. It's my name.
Okay.
And
Johnna.
there's something else to it. I don't know. Numbers or something at the end. I don't know.
All right, so
But
search for
yeah,
Johnna
it's just,
Ledoux at, at,
yeah,
at YouTube and you'll find it. That's fascinating because I dabbled in the extreme couponing world probably it was a while back, probably about 10 years ago. I was working full time. My husband was working full time. We had 3 small children at home and I was just kind of obsessed with it.
yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
I especially focused on like CVS was my and I had the baseball card sleeves with the coupons
Okay.
in it, and they'd see me coming, they'd be like,
Oh
"Oh,
my God.
lady." Yeah. So I
Yeah.
told oh, there
There
she
you go.
Christopher found it. Yeah, Johnna Ledoux 2554. Awesome. So yeah, y'all go check out her YouTube channel. And I still love to coupon, but
Yeah, I
not,
do too.
but and it's interesting that you're taking a break from it. Maybe this medication is working on that, compulsive center of the brain where we find a lot of these things kind of just aren't
Where
so important.
it's so demanding because, I have to go on Sunday because that's when all the new stuff drops and
Yeah.
people want to know what's going on. And not only am I doing it, I'm accumulating a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have the yard sale and I sell it for less than I get it for because I get some kickback with the like Walgreens, you have the rewards or the
Yeah.
extra care bucks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I sell it really cheap to kind of pass on the savings to other people and help them. And
Mhm.
then I take a chunk of it and take it to a shelter to help people.
Oh,
Or
wow.
if I see a homeless person outside Walgreens, one time I saw a pregnant lady and I loaded her up with vitamins that I just bought. And I said,
Oh,
here, stay healthy.
yeah, that's so sweet. That's so nice.
Well, I have so much stuff. So right now, I have it in every cupboard and nook and cranny and under the bed. And until my sale in November, I have nowhere to put anything. So I thought, and then I'm focusing on this, and then I have the
Yeah.
puppy, and I feel like I'm being pulled too many ways.
Yeah.
So I thought, 5 years, I'm taking a break
Yeah,
and
well,
see
good for
what
you.
happens at the end of 5 years. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the obsessive compulsiveness, I think, where
Yeah.
it's pushing you to have to do something, and I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
I'm glad that you were able to, channel some of that stuff toward charities or people in need. It makes me we live in North Carolina and Hurricane Helene just came through and my daughter she goes to school in Western North Carolina and she started to drive just in our neighborhood for people to donate and I've got piles of water bottles on my porch right now that
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah,
hopefully drive up to the mountains soon. So, yeah, it's nice to be able to contribute to charities and those
yeah.
causes. Let's get back to some more weight loss things. Did you have any side effects with the medication?
2.5, I had no real side effects, maybe a little tiredness, but I don't even know if I had that. When I started on the 5.0, I had extreme nausea the first 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just laid down. I felt like I had the flu or something. I just thought nothing sounded good to eat. I had no appetite. I felt nauseous. I didn't really feel like I'd throw up, but I felt nauseous.
Mhm.
And I really push. My only thing I'm tracking really is protein. A little bit fiber, but mainly protein.
Yeah.
I aim for 100 to 150 grams a day. And when I was feeling nauseous, I was lucky if I was getting 80 in a day. And I was just
That's a lot.
really forcing
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
But tiredness, I still get tiredness. The nausea after the second week, I went and got a COVID shot and I got really sick. So I think it
Uh-huh.
was the COVID shot. But I
Interesting.
haven't really had nausea again unless I eat something that maybe is too heavy,
Yeah. Yeah, like a greasy, heavy
like a
kinda.
greasy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Do you take your shot after you eat?
No. I take it about 9 in the morning, so I
Okay.
usually have coffee and I may eat, but I don't really focus on eating before I take it.
If I could no, I'm not a doctor, but I have found if I eat a high protein meal and then take the shot after
You
eating the
feel
meal,
better.
it eliminates some of that nausea and some of those other side effects. So,
I
if
can
that
see that because
works.
if I start to feel queasy at all, it's usually a sign that I haven't eaten in a while, and
Yeah,
if I get some protein in, I do feel better.
yeah.
So that
What are
makes
some
sense.
things that you like to eat? That's a lot of protein, over 100 grams of
Yeah.
protein a day. Tell us what are some typical things that you like to eat?
Well, I eat a lot of eggs.
Mhm.
I have eggs pretty much every day. I usually make a batch of chili, so I'll have
Oh,
chili almost every day. And I put it in small containers and I put some in the freezer and I leave some out. I
perfect.
have cheese on it and I make omelets. I have ground beef. I'll put taco seasoning in it. I have chicken. I feed my dogs real food, so
Oh,
they're usually eating what I'm eating, except not the seasoning and the
yeah,
meat, but they eat meat, they eat chicken, eggs. And so I'm feeding them almost what I'm eating, and that's about it. I don't really go, oh, I have protein shakes. I do make that.
yeah.
Banana, peanut butter sometimes. I
Mhm.
haven't got real elaborate on anything. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, it sounds like you've got it down. I mean, I definitely support, protein shakes as a supplement or an occasional meal replacement because it's hard to get,
Yeah.
it's hard to get that protein. I love the chili idea. Make a big batch, freeze some, eat some, just eat on it in small containers. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and the chili's good because if you put beans in it, you have fiber too.
Yeah, I need the fiber.
Yeah.
I need that fiber.
And the protein shake, I use Fairlife milk.
Mhm.
So that adds even
Extra.
13 more grams
Yeah,
into the protein shake.
yeah.
And so that's great. And, the food isn't your main concern. You're not really worried about food. You're
No.
just worried about getting enough protein in.
Yeah, yeah, I find a lot of times I just maybe don't wanna eat or nothing sounds good, but
Yeah.
definitely wanna try to get that protein in to keep your body going. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So you kinda sound like a super responder to me with the 2.5 and now the 5 like, do you think you'll stay at your 5 milligram dose now for a while?
Well, I was thinking of this last prescription of going up, but I don't really think I need to. I mean, I don't have hunger.
Yeah,
Towards the end of the week, I do tend to probably eat more because you can get more in.
yeah,
Right after the shot, you can't. So I'm trying to
right.
weigh that out. I don't really think I have to go up. And I do have my medication a little ahead because when they gave me the 5.0, I was only halfway through my first box.
Yeah,
So I went and got it filled right away. So I'm about 2 weeks ahead of my prescription. And
mhm.
that way I have a little leeway. But I don't think I'm ready to go. I don't think I need to. And I'm losing fairly well,
Yeah.
anywhere from 1.8 to 2.4 pounds a week. That's great.
Yeah, no, I'd say you're good on the 5. 'Cause I mean, am I calculating this right? You've lost 30 pounds in about 2 months?
Well, I've lost on Mounjaro, I've lost,
Was that 23?
yeah, like
Yeah,
23 pounds
okay,
in 8 weeks. Yeah.
okay.
So
So that's
that's still good. That's over 10 pounds a month.
yeah, I'd say you're good, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I just soon, and when you exercise, you got to figure hopefully you're building some muscle.
Yeah,
So if I can lose that and Weight Watchers I lost that, but the thing is I stopped,
yeah.
and when I got to that, you have those weights that you get stuck at, or I
Yes,
do anyway, where my
yes.
body's like, we've been here before and we kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And I blew right, 220 because I started at 238 and then the Mounjaro I was 231. And when I got to 220, my body just wanted to stop. but it didn't this time. It
Huh.
moved right past. So that's
Oh,
when I knew, okay. And now I am at 209 or 208. And that's great for me because I haven't been that low since the gastric bypass.
oh, awesome. Yeah. Would you have
Yeah.
a goal weight in mind?
I'm thinking 150, but I don't have I'll see when I get there.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
ever make, your goal weight at Weight Watchers or no?
No. Oh, no.
Me
No.
neither.
I never even got past, I don't think I got past like maybe 217. I
Oh,
mean, I did lose 2 pounds a week, but then I'd have stalls
yeah.
and then it would just stop, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's
And
it's it's hard to keep going, when through stalls and when life happens, and I think this medication just kinda keeps everything humming no matter what a lot of
yeah,
times.
yeah,
As long as you keep taking it and keep going, I think I think you'll get to where you wanna go. And I had a similar, I always say 185 pounds. My body loved being 185 pounds. I could go plus 15 or down 15, but I was
yeah,
I was always gonna be, like, kinda stuck hovering around there. So, yeah, and I think this medication has really helped break through that weight, that stall weight for me. So,
yeah.
I
Just so
definitely.
you're comfortable. It's like, okay, we're okay here.
Yeah,
And your body doesn't want to starve. That's the thing.
yes.
Your body doesn't want to starve. So, that's why I don't really cut back on, like I eat regular hamburger meat. I'm not cutting back on fats. I'm not cutting back on regular food. Like I tell people, I haven't had chips or cookies or any desire for that,
Yeah,
but I'm not eliminating it. If
right.
I want it, I'll have it. I
Exactly.
don't want a life where I can't have certain things,
Absolutely.
because that's just not realistic to me.
Yeah, and it's same. I mean, I'm always gonna like cookies. I'm always gonna like donuts, but, I just they don't call to me from,
Right.
across town anymore. I'm not
I
compelled to
know.
get in my car and drive to them like sometimes that would be that would
Or
be
when you go to the bathroom, you don't have to go into the kitchen.
yeah. Yeah, let me just pass by the pantry and see what's happening in there. I haven't been there in a few minutes, right. So it definitely that food noise is definitely and it's weird, I never knew, and maybe you feel the same, I never knew how much brain space it took up until it was gone,
Yeah.
that
It was
constant.
like just quiet. It was so weird.
Yeah, and it's
It was
interesting,
just,
you noticed it right away on your first
yeah,
shot, you said it was gone.
like 4 hours. I was looking because I had Oreos and I had chips, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, I don't want any of it. I don't want to, I didn't even want to think about food.
That is super responder status right there.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You are a super responder. So,
Um,
anyway, so I guess we're talking about exercise with the dogs. Do you do any other
Not
exercise
really.
beyond?
I'm
No.
pretty active because, I'm running around doing the couponing. I
Yeah.
also work part time. I live in a
Okay.
senior community and we have a greeter gate or, like a security gate when people
Yeah.
come in. And I work there. I usually only work 1 day a week, but sometimes I fill in and work 3 or 4 days a week. And I'm going all the time.
Yeah. That's
But yeah, I want to focus more on time with the dogs and time at home. And yeah, I think you just maybe change your priorities a little bit. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't
no, it sounds great. It sounds like you're doing what you wanna do, and, I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. So, g
Yeah,
that's great. Have you gotten rid of any bigger size clothes yet, or what do you
not
think about that?
yet.
Yeah.
I have a lot of clothes that are really big on me that I don't really wear anymore. But, after all the weight loss, I think the security of I might need it. I mean, I am never going back, but it's just that part of my brain that doesn't want to let go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to let go of some of those clothes because, this is it's a different experience, right, than before,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
when we lost weight before and then it came back and, I really feel like it's not coming back, so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I do
kinda have
too.
to
I do
you kinda
too.
have to get used to that idea for a little bit,
Yeah,
so Yeah.
Well, and I think when I get new clothes, and that's another thing, I'm not too sure I want to go buy new clothes yet because I don't think they're going to fit me soon.
Well, yeah, yeah, definitely. I had that problem. I bought some, like, midway things, and then I forgot that I bought them or didn't wear them, and then they were too big. So, I do a lot of secondhand or resale
Yeah,
stuff for especially for those midpoints, because yeah, their clothes are expensive, like,
yeah,
but you gotta wear something along the
yeah,
way. You don't want your pants falling down when you're pedaling your bike around the neighborhood.
yeah.
So, but yeah, okay, awesome. Are there any tips? Are there anything you want people to know? Maybe things that have worked for you or things you wish you knew when you started?
Well, I think that, I've always been just very adventurous and, like the gastric bypass. When I took that,
Yeah.
people, I was very scared actually doing that because that's rerouting your whole system
Yeah.
and it's a major surgery. And I had so many people that knew people from years before that had it, that lost extreme amount of weight, got malnutrition. And I had a girlfriend that told me she had someone she knew die because they had
Ee,
lost too much weight.
ee.
And so, they started telling me that. And so on this, and I think that part of me was saying, oh, I'm not going to let that happen. And so with this, I've told myself, I'm not going to let people tell me I'm too thin. If I'm comfortable in my weight, then that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let people say, "Oh, because when I was even 170 on the gastric bypass, people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't lose any more weight." And I'm thinking, 170. I'm not like a anorexic.
I'm still at
And
the top of the chart. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to determine what's a good weight for me. I mean, I think mentally I'm realistic. I don't want to be, I'll never really be skinny. I'm pretty big anyway. So even when I was younger, 130 was about as thin as I could get. So I'm thinking probably 150, maybe 140, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine even 140 being okay. But then I shrunk too. I got to figure that.
That darn, it was such a shock to me to shrink that much. I guess it's pretty common. The more people I talk to,
Yeah.
like you, the more people say that. But I mean, that's not something I knew about at age like 35 or 45, even. So,
Well, did your mom shrink? My mom
yeah,
got pretty short, and my
yeah,
grandmothers were really short. And I'm thinking, I remember my mom being so short, and my
yeah.
mom was 5'6" too at one time. So
Oh, yeah. My mom started at 5'4", and so now I've always been taller than her, so I guess we just shrunk together. So, yeah, it's really hard, but yeah, and going back to what you said about people, saying, "Oh, you're too thin," or whatever, I get that a lot, especially people that I see all the time, like people in the gym and whatever, and I think it is just important to, you know what you want and what feels good to you
yeah,
and what feels like a good weight to you, and you may not know till you get there,
yes,
honestly.
that's how I feel. I'll know when I get there. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, they see you at your high weight, and now you've changed so much that it's a shock to their brain. And
Yeah.
so they're thinking you're getting too thin. And so I figured this time, I was worried because I was thinking, well, I don't want to die if I'm losing too much weight,
Oh,
or people that were in the hospital or had complications with the gastric bypass. So
yeah.
this time I decided, well, I feel good. And I told the doctor, I feel good. I'm not going off this. I'm going to lose weight until I get to my goal. And then I'm going to stay on it so I can maintain it. Because that food noise, if it came in 4 hours, it's coming back probably in 4 hours. And I don't want it.
Yeah,
It's like a monkey on your back. I don't
for
want it.
sure. A monkey on your back, that's a good way to describe it. I haven't heard that before. That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy. Well, yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanna tell us about, or is anything I missed that you wanna get in there?
No, but I'll be back when I get to my goal and I'll
Yay!
meet with you guys again and we'll celebrate then.
Awesome. Yes, that would be great. I definitely want you to come back again and tell us when you get to where you're going. So
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, so thank you, Johnna, for talking to us today on the Downsized Dish. It's been great talking with you. If you out there in YouTube land would like to talk to me, send me an email to ldurham@folio28.com and we'll get you set up with the time. So now's a great time to reach out and set up an interview. We've got a lot of spots open, so I hope you'll reach out. Be sure to check out our live shows on YouTube Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Downsized. That's where we just talk to people out there, take viewer questions, kind of interact with the audience. So if there's anything you've been wanting to ask, maybe you didn't want to leave a comment, come to our live show on Thursday night and we can talk about it there. We also have a website. Christopher just put it on the screen here, thedownsized.org. And on that website, I've got some links to some Amazon products that I like, some protein shakes and things that I like, some supplements and things. Totally, totally optional. We are Amazon affiliates, so we make a small commission on each purchase. So thank you for that. And be sure to check out Johnna's YouTube channel, Johnna Ledoux at 2554. And what else? Be sure to like and subscribe. Everybody out there, click the like and then the subscribe button. And we really appreciate that. That helps the YouTube algorithm reach more people out there in GLP-1 land that have been looking for answers or looking, to have their questions answered. So thank you for liking and subscribing. And that's it. Thanks for watching out there, guys. My name is Laraine Durham, and thanks for watching The Downsized. Bye.
Bye.